Hi, so if you haven't seen my last video, it was about why we need to be prepared in case of any emergencies, natural disaster type emergencies. So this video I want to talk a little bit about Northridge earthquake. This happened back in the 90s. I know it's been a while, but still that was our major last earthquake here in Southern California. I was on duty that morning, just finishing up 3 days straight work. I was ready to go home and I got knocked. I was in Dana Point. This was up in Northridge. This is a long ways away. I got knocked out of bed by the earthquake. And so what happens with the firefighters, we get up, we kind of, check in with each other, did that just happen? And, the aftershocks start coming and you're like, yeah, that just happened. And make sure we're all okay. Run around the firehouse, bring the units outside, check, the gas, the electric, make sure our generator's working if needed, make sure the door's open, everything's safe. And then literally while we're waiting to find out, if we're expected to go do anything, because we didn't get it. It was hard, but it wasn't too hard. We had CNN on. Seriously, that's how we're getting our news too. We get dispatched to check the neighborhood, which we do. I was down in Aliso Viejo, Dana Point area, and everything was fine. We got a good crack, but it wasn't too bad. So then about half an hour, my unit gets called up to go to LA to help out with the relief efforts. So we're driving up there. It's, early in the morning, and it's kind of surreal. And I remember they had a stage in a parking lot of a grocery store. And I tell you what, the grocery store, by the time we got there, all the windows were broken. People running in and out, just grabbing food, grabbing anything. Eventually the manager came out and brought us, he's like, go in there and get as much water as you can get. Everyone's ransacking, just take what you need, no worries. And we did. We went in, we grabbed a bunch of water, threw it on our units, waited around till we got an assignment. When we did get an assignment, it was for the Northridge apartment building. And we go up there, we roll up on scene, all these police and fire equipment all around, and we're kind of looking at it, and it's, 2-story apartment unit complex. It's huge. And we're like, well, what's wrong? We hear the cars beeping and everything, the alarms going off. And we're like, everything looks fine here. What do you want us to do? And this chief turns to us and says, that was a 3-story complex. And literally, you're looking at it, and it looks like it's a 2-story complex sitting on the ground with maybe a little tilt. Well, at that point, we're like, holy crap. And we get all of our equipment. They hooked my engine up with an LA City special task force, and thankfully they had the circular saws and the chainsaws and everything, because I was on an engine and we don't carry that kind of equipment, just my axe and my Halligan tool, favorite thing. So we go in and we're walking down this hallway, and it literally felt like a fun house. The floor was up and twisted and crooked, and the walls were crooked, and we're walking and everything's crooked, and an aftershock comes through, and it's 4.5, which is still a fairly decent jolt. And it's, the place is shaking, and we're looking at each other like, do we need to get out of here or what? And nobody wants to be the first to run out, right? Nobody wants to do that. So, we keep going, and we went from apartment to apartment, and we're looking for, for anyone alive. We would go into an apartment, 2nd-story apartment, cut through, the flooring, the ceiling, literally the whole first floor of every apartment we went into was under 2 feet high. The furniture was squished. They tell you, stand in a doorway if there's an earthquake. If it's a big one, it's all coming down on you. I'm sorry to tell you this. I found a few little holes that maybe somebody could have survived in. Most of them were with the refrigerator squished, but there's no way of telling where you're going to find a place. Unfortunately, we didn't save anyone in that scenario. We pulled 15 bodies out of the apartment complex. And what we were told is that it could have been a lot worse. It happened on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and so a lot of people were out of town for the weekend, which did save them. But it was very sad, and we worked really hard. And like I say, that the aftershocks kept coming through, and you know, we're all like looking at the windows, going, "Should we be getting out of here?" And you know, we did, and we were okay. Finally, a safety inspector from the city came, shut us out, you know, kicked us all out because the building obviously was not safe. And we'd been there for quite a few hours, and like I said, we didn't find anybody alive. And so, you know, at least we tried. So the moral of this story really is, we never know when a disaster is going to hit. We never know the magnitude of it. And it is so important to make sure that you are safe and you are protected and that you have supplies to take care of yourself. Living in a big city, you know, Southern California, we're just one huge big city. There's a lot of people here. The people that don't have anything are going to come looking for it. You do not want to be part of that mob. Have things in your car, things in your garage, you know, just things stashed in different places where you can keep care of yourself and your family. Important documents, all that stuff. Stay safe.